Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Sarah if you're new here, and I started this channel to document my journey becoming a single mother by choice by going through IVF. After getting diagnosed with endometrial cancer and PCOS, I am now cancer-free. But if any of those topics apply to you or appeal to you at all, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to get updated anytime I upload new videos. So I'm sick. This is my 19 and 20 week bump date. Week 20 was a big week for a lot of reasons. But I did get a sinus infection that is finally, I think today is like the first day I'm starting to feel a little bit better. So just ignore me when I have to cough. But we'll start with week 19. So I'm currently 20 weeks and 2 days pregnant with my first baby. And in week 19, as I always say, still having weird dreams every night, still nauseous, excuse me, in the mornings and some evenings. But during the day, I'm okay. So in week 19, the nausea wasn't too bad. I do keep forgetting to mention, so I started several weeks ago, I started using an organic belly balm to prevent stretch marks. I probably started in like week 12, if I remember correctly. So about 8 weeks ago I started. It's by the brand Sensible, and it's a brand that's kind of like a spin-off brand from Kindred Bravely. But I love it. It's organic, and it just has like all organic like oils in it. Coconut oil and sunflower seed oil, shea butter, vitamin E, orange oil, rosehip oil, calendula, aloe. So I did a lot of research on stretch mark creams, and I just feel really strongly about not using anything that has synthetic fragrances. And I couldn't believe how many stretch mark creams had synthetic fragrances. Pretty much all of them did. So this was one of the only ones I found. There was one more oil that I've had linked in my description box for a while now. So I do have that too. I've been using that sometimes, but mainly I really like this because it's like a balm. So it's just, I always put it on after my shower in the morning, and so far no stretch marks, but I'm only 20 weeks pregnant. So, and I like that it comes in a glass container too, because I try to avoid plastics at all costs. And then I also forgot to mention in my last video, I started working out in week 18. I was researching it for a long time, and it was a really big decision, and I really can't afford it, but I ended up getting a Peloton because I felt like that would, number one, motivate me to work out. Like, I have Apple Fitness Plus, and for whatever reason, like the thought of standing in front of my TV and working out, or like doing something on the floor, like with yoga, like I wanted to sit on something. So like cycling is a really good workout for when you're pregnant because it's low impact, and you know, just the thought of like sitting on a bike and working up a sweat that way was appealing to me. And I will say, before I got sick, so for about 10 days in a row, I worked out every single day since I got the Peloton. I was doing the prenatal rides and the prenatal strength classes. And I really, really like it. So I can't wait to start again, but I have not been working out since I've been sick. So, and then also starting in week 17, I forgot to say all these things, so I wanted to catch you up. Week 17, I started prenatal chiropractor sessions. First 2 weeks, I went weekly, and then now they have me on a bi-weekly, so I go every other week. That is supposed to help like just keep your body in line, and then closer to labor, that is supposed to help like make labor easier. So I'm doing that. But then that brings us to the 20th week. I think it was, when I was 19 weeks one day, so like that Saturday, I just had this cough that like wouldn't go away. I tried stopping the Pepcid. My midwife had prescribed Pepcid for me because she thought that might help with my nausea, even though I didn't think I had like heartburn or whatever. So I tried stopping Pepcid right when I turned 19 weeks. And that night I feel like I had, I guess it's acid reflux or whatever, but like when I would lay back, I just had this weird feeling in my throat, and it was like almost like I had to throw up. But so I think that that's what that was. So I started the Pepcid again the next day. But then the next day, I just like kept having to cough, like little like kind of coughs. Not like a bad cough, but just I was just persistently like coughing. So I thought it had something to do with like the acid reflux or whatever. But then when I woke up on Sunday, I was just really congested and my cough was like really bad. And I kind of had like a headache like in my temples, and I had a bit of a sore throat too. But so I suspected that I had like a sinus infection. I was hoping it wasn't COVID. I've never had a sinus infection before. So I went to the doctor on Monday, my primary care physician, and he did diagnose me with a sinus infection. I got a COVID test and it was negative. So he started me on antibiotics, and I hate taking antibiotics more than anything, but they were pregnancy safe, apparently. But I was not getting any better. So fast forward to like Friday night, I think Thursday night and Friday night, I threw up from coughing so much. So like it was really hard to tell. Like I feel like maybe my nausea was getting better, but because I was sick, I was coughing so hard that I would throw up. So I don't really know if my nausea was getting better. But Thursday night and Friday night, I threw up like shortly after taking the antibiotics. So I decided to stop taking them because I'm pretty sure that this is a viral sinus infection. Most sinus infections are viral, which means they're not going to be affected by antibiotics. Only some sinus infections are bacterial, and those are the ones that can be helped by antibiotics. So I'm pretty sure that like by day 3, 4, and 5, I was not getting any better. So I'm pretty sure that the antibiotics weren't doing anything, and I have a viral sinus infection that just has to get better on its own. So I stopped taking the antibiotics on day 5, after day 5, because I just was throwing up violently after taking them. So I felt like that was my body saying no more antibiotics. So like I said, today I'm starting to feel better. So I think I'm on the upswing. So that's good, because it's been hard to be sick on top of all of the pregnancy stuff. So I had my anatomy scan on Tuesday, on August 3rd. And for the most part, it went really well. Everything with the baby looks good, except they thought they saw something with his heart that was concerning. They thought they saw what's called a vascular ring, which is where the aorta grows around the trachea and esophagus. And apparently some people, or a lot of people, can have a vascular ring with no symptoms throughout their life. Some people have trouble with digestion, swallowing, and breathing if it's tight around the tubes. So some people have to have surgery. So I have to have a fetal echocardiogram in about 3 weeks. So that will diagnose this for sure. So I'm hoping that they thought they saw something, and maybe they were wrong, and they'll find out that his heart is totally normal. I know with IVF babies, they have a higher chance of heart defects. So I was, really upset to find this out. But it was something that I thought could happen. I do want to show you some pictures, adorable pictures of him. You can really see his facial features now, his cute little lips, and it seems like he has his hands up by his face a lot, and he's just so cute. And I love him so much, and I hope he is okay. I hope his heart is okay. The other concerning thing that they saw was that as of right now, I have what they call vasa previa, where some of the umbilical cord blood vessels cover the opening of the cervix. So they're fetal blood vessels, not maternal blood vessels. And what that means is, as of right now, if that stays that way, I'm going to have a C-section, because if I were to give birth vaginally, the blood vessel would burst and I would lose blood and he would lose blood, and he would most likely die before being born. So we would have to prevent me from going into labor naturally, which means my C-section would probably have to be about 4 weeks early. So this was really hard for me to take in at first, because I have this whole time, I have a midwife. I was gonna deliver in a natural birthing center, planning to try to deliver naturally with no medication. And so this totally changes everything. So since then I've been trying to wrap my head around having a C-section. Of course, it's not ideal, but the baby's health is most important. So if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. There is a chance it could move. So they're just going to monitor that blood vessel with ultrasounds, extra ultrasounds. So I'll have to go in for another ultrasound in about a month, and they're going to see where it is. I have an appointment with an OB. They're moving me over to an OB for now, instead of my midwife. And then if the blood vessel does move, then I can go back to my midwife and go back to my original plan. But I have an appointment with him next week, and I'm going to ask him, because I don't know like how often they're going to monitor this, and like when is the last time they're going to check. Like if it does move, does that mean it can move back at some point? So I'm assuming by like week 35 or something like that, they'll probably want to check me maybe one last time. And if it hasn't moved by then we would schedule the C-section. But if it has moved, I don't know like when the very last time. Like I feel like they would want to check me like pretty often, because I don't know if it can move back. That's one of my questions. So there's that. The other good thing is that the alpha fetoprotein test that I had done, that's just a blood test. It was like another blood test to check for birth defects and genetic disorders. That came back negative. And then finally, I just wanted to tell you guys, I finally took your advice. So many of you have been saying, try extra B6, and because I'm already taking quite a bit of vitamin B6 with my B complex that I'm taking and my prenatal, but I added an extra B6 and a half a Unisum at night. Apparently that is something that works really well for women with nausea. So I'm taking so many pills that like I just kept putting it off, because I'm like, I don't want to take 2 more pills. I take so many pills. So I found on Amazon, I found these B6 Easy Melts, and oh my gosh, they are so good. They taste like orange creamsicle, and I'm obsessed with them. And I eat 2 of these, because this is 50 milligrams, and I'm already consuming around 60 milligrams of B6. So that brings me to about the 100 milligram mark, which is where my midwife said to be. So 2 of these a day. I wish I could eat more of them because it's like the best tasting candy I've ever had in my life, in my opinion. So I got these, and then for Unisom, I also got ones that melt in your mouth, and these are cherry flavor. So I just take one of these at night. You're supposed to take 2, but I'm just taking half. And like I said, I've been sick, so I can't really tell if my nausea is better or not since starting that. But I should definitely be able to tell you in 2 weeks if I think that's working. So sorry that this was such a long video. I had a lot to update you guys on, but send positive vibes to my little boy, and let's see, in 2 weeks, I will not have had the echocardiogram yet, but I just really hope that he doesn't have that vascular ring, fingers crossed. And here is my 20-week bump shot. I hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I will see you in a couple weeks. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for your support. Bye.